you're not able to wash your hands at a bathroom with soap and water, you could actually with water. This again, like really? I thought I'd be better at this by now. Hi there and welcome back to my channel, the Pink Aviatrix. In this video, I will be talking about hygiene tips for pilots. Yes, that is very important. So whether it is you're a private pilot, student pilot, commercial pilot, airline pilot, these tips will be useful for you. And this video is going to be in 3 sections. I'll talk about before the flight, during the flight, and after the flight. So stay tuned. So this is something that I'm a little bit passionate about, to the point where people would actually call me monk at work, because I'm usually the person who is always cleaning everything, and especially in the job I do, whether it's air traffic control or whether I'm flying, we're using shared equipment, right? So there's different people interacting with the space, and you know, they're leaving behind some aspects of themselves that we don't necessarily want to interact with. That could be sweat, saliva, odors, just dirt and grime. Yeah, we don't want to interact with that. So let's talk about how we clean up before a flight. So before your flight, before you leave your house, before you put on your uniform, have a shower. It is important that you bathe before you go out for a flight, because you know, you've been sleeping all night, and depending on what time you showered the previous night, yeah, you kind of need to bathe. Even if it's just to have some fresh water run over you, that's important. Ensure that you apply your deodorant, any light lotions and perfumes, nothing too strong, because remember, as a pilot, you're sharing a small space with another individual, so you don't want to put on anything that's going to be too offensive or just too strong for the small space that you'll be occupying. So the next thing, before your flight, you do a pre-flight, or you walk around of the aircraft. And at this phase of your flight, or before your flight, you'll be touching a lot of things on the outside and the inside of the aircraft, which can make you get dirty. And personally, I like to get a little bit dirty, but I also like to get very clean. So what you want to have with you for that purpose is wipes. So just some regular wipes, nothing with any harsh chemicals that could damage the equipment in your cockpit, but just some light wipes. Or if your airplane is parked near a bathroom, go and quickly wash your hands with soap and water after you've completed the pre-flight. You could actually walk with a small bottle of hand soap diluted with water, and possibly a disposable rag, or just a rag that you would take with you and wash it when you go back home. In terms of cleaning inside of the cockpit, you don't want to be spraying anything on the avionics, on the yoke, on the control panels, anything like that. Or if you need to find out if the airplane was sanitized before you use it, talk to the maintenance guys. I'm sure it is that flight schools and persons who rent aircraft, they have their approved methods of cleaning and sanitizing the airplanes. So you want to ensure that you consult with them before you decide to go and spray anything in the cockpit, which I do not recommend. Just like your laptops and your keyboards and your mouse and them things there, your cell phones, you don't want to be spraying anything on them, because these aerosol sprays could get into the cracks and crevices and, you know, destroy the device itself completely. So it's the same thing with the cockpit of your aircraft. The airplane is usually in the hot sun as well, so you don't want to spray something on it and then the sun kind of interact with it and then cause all kind of problems. So I recommend simple soap and water if you have to wipe down anything, and leave the alcohol and the bleach and that type of stuff for your hands alone. If you have to spray anything, spray it on a wipe, paper towel or rag, and then wipe the surface. And when you're flying, just keep your hands out of your eyes, nose, mouth, right? And that's how you keep yourself safe from any viruses or bacteria that might be going around. If you're getting good value from this video, go ahead and like and subscribe. So we move on to how you keep clean during the flight. Now, for me as a private pilot, and when I was training, I would get very sweaty because I had to walk to the aircraft a good distance, and then while you're waiting for your taxi instructions from ATC, while you're taking off, while you're practicing your maneuvers, you can get very sweaty. And if you're not operating at a very high altitude, it's usually hot up there. we're going up in the sky where the sun is, right? So what you want to do in that case is to walk with a small rag, a small towel that you can use to, you know, pat your face while you're training. Also, don't pick your nose, don't be scratching all parts of you while you're flying, because one, that can cause distractions, and two, that's not very hygienic. So moving on to after your flight. So in my next video, I'll talk about after your flight because it was getting kind of long and I don't want to bore you guys. But in the meantime, watch What's in My Flight Bag Part 2 and watch the bloopers because, yeah, fun times. Everything is usually... People come to the end. I'm a mosquito time yet. Make them go inside. After 6 now, mosquito time. Time for them to go in. Jeez. I live on a lane that has winter season. And they're out at this time and it's hard to get some quiet time to film. Yeah.